And today we are going to be taking a look at the infamous / famous Your Hot Cupcake scene from the show Arcane. And ever since we saw this scene, we've been like, wow, that's a really powerful scene. And we knew we wanted to share out our reactions and impressions with all of you. Yay!
Stay tuned. Look forward to it.
Okay, so here we go.
You thought you were getting just the cupcake scene. You're getting the whole thing.
What? Oh yeah, leading into it. Well, there's some lead up here.
There is
happening.
though. Yeah, there is.
So
awesome.
Already, I don't know if Caitlin knows what kind of establishment this is. She's clearly not comfortable either way, but I'm pretty sure she wouldn't be comfortable anywhere that is in the Undercity at all. Already, you see Vi hey, and you see Caitlin kind of just she's already kind of shrinking down.
Yeah, Vi's in her element.
Mm-hmm.
Vi's in her element, and I'm pretty sure Piltover would be something more grandiose if they had something like this.
That's so true. Yeah, I have a feeling that Caitlin would feel more comfortable going to a brothel in Piltover and just be yeah, whatever. I'm just here at a brothel. But here she's. Whatever kind of establishment this is, she probably doesn't even know. Vi's been keeping some details from her already.
Yeah.
So she's already what is happening? Clearly Vi didn't prep her on what was about to go down. So she's just yeah, let's go and check out this place. Come follow me. And Caitlin is what are we getting ourselves into? Her kind of guard is up, and she's already kind of shifty-eyed, trying to plan her escape route. Get out of this place if
she's I'm out!
Yeah, kind of.
Oh gosh, okay. You know, I gotta just say, when you first look at this, it looks like a haunted house.
That's true! It looks freaking spooky! Oh my gosh, look, it's lit by candles. They probably don't have electricity. And there's these dark drapes, and look at that little doorway.
Yeah, you got this narrow, very narrow space, and it's just is it Halloween time?
Yeah.
The one place all the secrets are spilled.
Okay, Caitlin just totally rolled her eyes. She was a teenager, are we really gonna do this? Is this for real?
Yeah. Well, she wouldn't go about it like this, obviously. If she was the one that was in charge, this would be a bit differently. But I just love how you got this calm, cool, collected Cupcake, and she's just...
Oh, no, Vi is the one that's calm. Oh, she's usually...
Yeah, she's usually...
Okay,
Caitlin's usually very calm, she's very calculated, she just knows what to do, and she's just kind of alright, I'm gonna let you take me here, but what even is this?
She's trying to analyze her little analytical brain.
Yeah.
She's what?
Yeah, and then you got these masks over here. They're like clowns, man. So we're in a freaking haunted house / carnival. So people that are terrified of clowns and just not okay with Halloween in general, they don't want to be here.
Yeah, fair enough.
But look at Vi. She's I got this.
Yeah, she's alright, let's do it.
Yeah, alright.
Look at the way the two of them are walking.
Mm-hmm.
Already, Vi is walking and she owns the place. She's just yeah, that's right. I'm walking through here. And Caitlin is she's a tall person and she's shrinking herself down.
She's really
trying to make herself as small as possible.
Mm-hmm.
But also, I think she kind of doesn't want people to see her.
Yeah.
She wants to be able to kind of see without being seen.
Yeah, she's trying to assess the situation.
Yeah, what is going on?
And we got these folks right here. So then the viewer already is kind of oh, okay.
Yeah, so you start to figure out
what this is.
Okay, these people are laying around smoking some shimmer, it looks like.
Yeah.
And keeping some not fully dressed company.
Mm-hmm. She's I'm gonna look away.
Yeah, she almost had some shock. Did you see she visibly jumped? She seems already very nervous and on edge.
And she's hunched.
Yeah, she is hunched and looking to the side.
Look at that.
What is going on
I
here?
know, right? I mean, me too though.
Yeah. What even is that? It's like
I don't
some
know.
statue.
But this is the...
That's your favorite part.
I love it because she's so
She,
like turned off from the first room. She's like, okay, no. And she sees some bubbles and she peeks, looks away, and she's like, oh, but what? What's
Yeah,
going on?
she looks and then like and then looks back to be like, ah! She's curious.
That's so good. She's
So, which makes me think that her initial kind of like freak out is starting to slightly wane.
Yeah.
It's slightly coming down to where she's like, okay, yeah, I'm uncomfortable, but I'm also curious.
She's curious and curious.
What's happening here?
Yeah, because you can see her body language starting to kind of chill too.
Yeah.
It's very...
She's standing up a little taller.
She
and be
is.
like, what's going on?
She's like, oh, good.
Yeah.
She was about...
Exactly. Do you propose we go about this?
Okay. And of course she's a planner. So she's like, and Vi's like very like keeping her in the dark.
Oh,
she's
yeah.
like, I'm not gonna tell you.
Yep.
Because Vi has her own plans, is all I'm saying.
She does.
So she's just like, yeah, we're just gonna come here. People are gonna be sharing secrets. And Caitlin's like, we didn't come in here with any kind of clear strategy.
What's the plan?
Or plan. And how to tell you, this little guy walking.
She's looking right at her too.
What is he called? A
yordle.
He's a yordle.
It's the yordle.
And I did not notice him the first time because he's like short. He just like walks right through, and there's so much going on. To be honest with you, I've watched the show 3 times now.
Yep.
Every time after the first, I pick up so much more.
There's so much to see in this world.
And not only that, but then like all the memes people make about it. Like I saw like a meme that had this little yordle guy with his little mask on and everything, and it was like what's the deal with this guy or something like that. And I did not see him or notice him the first 2 times that I watched the show.
I noticed him. I mean, the reason I did is because you got this little guy in that light right there. Like, it's like, hello. And he looks up at Caitlin, and she's just like,
what is happening?
But if you saw her room, she is definitely like, I have a plan, I need to get into things, right? She's got that map, she's got all these things here. For her to be out of her element, so to speak, she's just kind of, okay, where are we doing? Why are we here?
Yeah.
And why, what's going on?
Yeah.
And why? Well...
Let him think you work here.
Okay, look at Vi's like body language. She's already like standing with her feet like super planted. Like, look at me, I look so cool in my little jacket. She just turns over her shoulder. She's like, yeah.
Yeah.
It looks like, if you ask me, it looks like a dance from like a boy band. Like,
yeah, pretty much. And then you've got this wonderful shock expression. She's like, you work here. She's like,
how dare you even insinuate such a thing?
I know, it's great about it.
For a lady of class such as myself. She's like, I'm shocked and scandalized. I would have never thought that someone would speak to me in such a way.
Oh, Caitlin.
Excuse me? I will not. You know what your problem is?
Okay,
Please.
so also like she like spits and she's like, I will not.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
to the
She's
side.
like completely
Like,
not
that's
okay with
so
this.
disgusting.
She's like, I would never do this. She's like, if you plan this, I would never do this. It's like, are you out of your mind? But she says it nicer.
Yeah.
And Vi, well.
Tell me, you expect everyone to give you what you want.
Can you back up a little bit?
Yeah, sure, Ken.
Okay. Let's see.
I love these stills.
Yeah, that's great. Like every second has something important. Okay, let's see it.
Let's see what it does.
You know what your problem is?
Oh, wait. Hang on a second. I said to back up.
Okay.
Okay. That's
Let's
a nice
see.
side profile.
Yeah.
Excuse me? I will not. You know what your problem is? Please, tell me.
Okay, very interesting power dynamic happening here. Like, first of all, with all the body language about Vi, like, standing very strong and not letting Caitlin in on what's going on. I think all of that kind of shifts the power dynamic, whereas Caitlin's the one who let Vi out of prison. Caitlin's the one who is supposed to be, like, running this mission and just using Vi's intel. And Vi is like, I'm here, I'm running the show, I'm not telling you all the information. And then she turns to her and says, you know what your problem is?
I know, is that so interesting?
Is that something that you say to someone who is like supposed to be like your superior or is like watching you?
Do you really honestly think Vi thinks Caitlyn is her superior?
No, I don't. But I think that I think this is the first, well, it's not the first time, but this is a very bold expression of like, hey, I'm in charge here. We're on my turf. We're on my ground. You're just a visitor. And she's like, you know what your problem is? Like, that's how you talk back to people when you don't. Generally, I think Vi has some kind of respect for Caitlyn.
Yeah, she does.
But, like, probably not much at this point.
No.
She doesn't know much about Caitlyn.
She doesn't trust her.
She just sees her as an enforcer. And she's kind of like, it's interesting because, again, Caitlyn's the one who let her out.
Yeah.
But Vi is acting like she's kind of almost tolerating Caitlyn.
Yeah.
And like, yeah, like, I'll take you. Yeah, I'll show you around.
Yeah.
Like, hey, you know what your problem is, buddy? Like,
It's not surprising, though, because if you think of the first scene, when we finally see Vi in her element, your favorite scene of her parkour, that she just, like, bails, essentially. Like, she just goes, right? So she's kind of giving Caitlyn a hint, if you're gonna come with me, this is what you get yourself into.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. And she's, like, showing her then. We'll have to go back and do a video on that sometime, too. But, like, hey, I'm in my element here. This is where I'm in control. This is where I know 100% the lay of the land. And so, yeah, here she's strutting around, like, you know what your problem is? Like, she's like, but also, and we talked about this is one of the things that I thought of when I first watched it, was that Vi, in a way, is teaching Caitlyn. So, Vi is used to being the leader of her little kid or teen and childhood chosen family. Of course, she kind of vaguely listened to Vander. Yeah. But she is used to being the leader. Yeah, she is. And she also is used to teaching the other people, guiding them, and especially like she had that relationship with Powder where she was always trying to teach her to help enable her to manage situations, and I feel like that's what's coming out too in Vi. Vi is teaching her. She's like, you know what your problem is. Yeah, that's what I feel like too. She's teasing her, but she's also teaching her. Yeah. She's like, I'll give you a hard time, but I'm gonna and also teach you things. Yeah.
You expect everyone to give you what you want.
And I mean, that's not untrue. We've got Caitlyn, who's from Piltover, who is in a very respectable family. Her mother is a councilwoman, for crying out loud. Yeah. So to her, well, she doesn't know this, but she thinks all Piltover people, like, what did she say early on this show? That she was like, you know, they have everything. They don't need anything else. You know, what are they going to be missing out on? Yeah. So she feels that everyone in Piltover, and it probably is like that, because I don't think I've seen anyone in Piltover not have something of, like, you know. So, yeah, I just think it's so interesting. And specifically, Caitlyn, like you said, she comes from a family where her mom is on the council. So people are already, we saw her, specifically her, with even the other people of Piltover when she was with her other enforcers. Oh, man. And they were like... Assholes. Yeah, they were like, oh, you're not one of us. Like, oh, we don't... for you. Yeah, they were like, yeah, we never found enough for her. They were kind of casting her out. Yeah, they were. Because she knew more than them, but it's really because she knew, like, Jace, who is also in the council now. So now her, like, bestie, who's, like, a bro to her, is in the council. So she's just used to, like, having a position of power and authority over other people. And she's used to being treated differently, but also with some kind of level of respect for her place in society. Yeah. So she is used to just asking in a lot of ways, and people give. People other than her family, because it seems like her family, like, is trying to keep her tight-knit and protected. Yeah. But other people that she comes into contact with, she's used to getting some level of respect for her position in society. And Vi, for one, doesn't know anything about Caitlyn's position in society. And number two, has this kind of disregard for the enforcers. Yeah, oh yeah. I think the biggest problem here is the fact that she is not a Pilty, but an enforcer. Because you think about it, enforcers kill their parents. She's always seen them in a bad way. And now she's got this girl who's, like, trying to help her, but at the same time, she's like, you're an enforcer. You're going to you're not just here just for me. You're here for something else.
And she thinks like the enforcers kind of get what also kind of get what they want.
Most
to
of
an
the time
extent.
too.
Yeah.
You really want people to talk to you, you have to let them think you have what they
Okay, I think this is so interesting because I feel like this is very integral to Vi's character and the way that she approaches situations. If you look back to the scene where Caitlin goes to visit Vi in prison, you'll see that Vi is doing this. She, like, at first she's like kind of like whatever. She doesn't think anything of Caitlin coming. She's like, who are you? What are you doing here? Is someone gonna come beat me up?
Just let me get on with my life.
Yeah, and then when Caitlin starts letting her in and being like, hey, here's this case that I'm working on, Vi tells her, I can't help you from in here. And so she's like, I can help you, but not from in here. So she's saying, I have what you want, and so I'm going to get what I want out of you giving me, or out of me giving you what, or whatever. You get what I mean? Like, she's kind of using this exact technique with Caitlin. Be like, I'm going to give you something as an incentive for Caitlin to let her out. And it does seem like in a lot of her dealings, that's how she does it.
She does.
There are other future scenes too, like when she later approaches Jace, and she's like, "Hey, do you want to get back at Silco?"
Yeah.
She gives people what they want, what she thinks they want, in order to get her own needs met. So she's teaching Caitlin in a way, but I think she's also like, if you see in the scene, she's telling Caitlin to do this, but she's doing it to Caitlin. She's like circling her and being like, you know, your problem is you expect people to give you what you want, and then she's like, you have to make them think that you have what they want. And I think she's kind of doing that to Caitlin too. She's kind of being like you know, like she's circling her and she's kind of hitting on her. And kind of being like, I got what you want, baby.
I mean, hello.
want. And what do I have?
And then you've got wonderful, oblivious Cupcake. She has no idea.
She looks less uncomfortable.
She looks extremely less uncomfortable.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So first of all, like, Caitlin is like circling her, which is like reminiscent of like a shark circling its prey. But notice Caitlin looks more comfortable.
Yep, she's standing upright.
With Vi circling her predatorially than she did walking through this place that she didn't know anything about. Yeah.
She's definitely.
But not only intrigued, but I also think that she already feels safe.
Yeah, I feel like to a certain extent she does. Also, that is horrifying.
That is a little bit.
A little bit horrifying.
Some interesting artwork. But yeah, like, it's so interesting because it's like with other people, she's like crouching in. But with Vi circling her, I think there's a sense of safety. Like, Vi is around me. It's okay. Yeah.
Yeah. What do I have exactly? Oh, you just don't know.
Yeah, she's like...
Have you seen yourself?
But notice she's asking. She trusts Vi's word when Vi is saying, like, hey, you know what your problem is? It's this. Yeah. And she's asking a question, like, okay, well, what is this?
Yeah, most folks, if you say what your problem is, they're not going to react that way. They're going to want to fight you about what that means.
But I feel like Caitlin's not like that.
No, she's not. That's what's awesome about her. Because most of this relationship dynamic, whether your gender, whatever, there's always the one that's really, like, sarcastic and snarky, and the other one that just wants to argue about everything. They don't really have it quite like this, because Caitlin's like, okay, well, what are you trying to say to me? Oh yeah.
I think it's just not in Caitlin's.
It's just not, but I love her. She's just like, she doesn't know.
Yeah, she's just like looking around, and Vi apparently just looked at Caitlin's breasts.
She's just like, how do you just not know?
Yeah.
I just love that. She's just like...
Yeah, it's just like, how silly of you not to know about this. And look at Vi's swagger.
Yeah.
She's like, that's right. Like, I don't know about you, but I see, like, lesbians in the club, like, walking up to a cute little mama like this, like, hey, like...
Yep.
You're hot, Cupcake.
Yes!
Okay, look at Vi's face. She's, like, real confident. Again, she's in her element.
She is definitely in her element.
And she likes playing with and toying with Caitlyn
Oh
a
yeah,
lot here.
of course.
Look at her face. She's
I
like
know.
so mischievous.
Yep.
She knows Caitlyn's out of her element. She knows she's uncomfortable.
Yep.
And she's like kind of using all of that and all that energy to really like look at her pinning her down.
Oh, I know. And
And see here, I had seen someone else saying like, oh, that time that Vi shoved Caitlyn back against the wall. And we watched this a few times to be like, is that actually what happened? And I see no signs of physical contact here. Just like I was saying, like she pins her with her gaze.
Yeah.
That's what it looks like to me happened. That Vi pinned her with her gaze.
Mm-hmm.
Caitlyn is like, what is going on? And Vi's like coming in kind of predatorially again.
Yep.
And Caitlyn is just so shocked.
Yep.
And kind of like, again, like she's not used to people talking to her like this.
Nope.
She's used to people talking to her with some kind of level of like holding back what they really think.
Mm-hmm.
She, even her family, like they try to protect her. She's very like protected and sheltered. And so I think, I mean, I'm not saying that she doesn't have other girls in her business, but I think none of them would talk to her like that. None of them would come up in her face like that. And like that's not how the aristocratic people court.
Nope.
Generally, like that's not what would be socially acceptable. So she's just completely shocked.
Yeah.
I think she really values though the fact that Vi is so honest. Because she's not beating around the bush.
No.
She's just like, here's what I think, and I'm gonna lay it all out right in front of you, including the fact that I think you're a little hottie. And Caitlyn is for it. She's here for it. Look at her. She's like,
yeah.
She
is. Oh, I want to see if I can get that. It's really quick, but let's see if we can get her to look before she.
Okay.
Yeah, that's not a look of like of terror. Some people are trying to say that she's afraid, and I'm like, nah.
I think she's just very surprised.
She is.
She's like, what is that? Again, it's not something she's used to.
No.
But I mean, something new can be exciting.
Yeah.
And I think that shock could also, I think it's like an excitement, like, what is happening? Like, and it's something that I find really interesting about the way that Vi puts her hand up like that, is it reminds me of when Vi and Caitlyn first met, and Vi was punching against the wall.
Yep.
I think she's just very used to that.
Yeah.
And so it comes very naturally to her to just be like, and really corner Caitlyn and get her attention.
And let's be completely honest here. If Caitlyn really wanted to get out of the situation, she's not some frail little princess. Girl could kick her butt.
That's true. I also think that that's another sign of like showing dominance. I think she's trying to put those power dynamics in her favor.
I really just appreciate like the lighting right here. It's just so well done. Anyway. And then she look at her face.
Yeah. She's like really surprised. But like you said, if she wanted to get away, she could.
Oh yeah.
If she wanted to, I'm sure she could shove Vi off of her. But she doesn't.
Nope. She sure doesn't.
So what'll it be?
And I feel like also, look at how Vi is looking at her.
Yeah, she gets closer too.
Again, very predatory look.
She goes from here.
So what'll it be? Man or woman?
That close.
I feel like I'm in a lesbian club right now. I feel like that's exactly what girls with game who meet like a little cutie dancing and are like, hey, can I get your phone number? Do you want to like come back to my place later? This is a scene right out of a lesbian nightclub.
Yeah. Caitlyn can't even talk.
And to me, I think it's just like shock.
Yeah, she's so
surprise,
shocked.
and to an extent, excitement.
Yeah.
She's like, and she's also, I think, just trying to take all of this in.
Oh yeah, I'm
just
sure.
Process.
It's like a whole new world.
Yeah. So look at Vi's eyes. Even talking to this guy, see, she is trying to get what she wants
Mm-hmm.
by giving other people what she thinks they want.
Mm-hmm.
So she is giving that same mischievous look
Mhm.
over to kind of like seduce this guy,
Mm-hmm.
and as we soon find out, into Caitlyn.
Yeah.
So she's like, hey. She just grabs him like she would.
Yep.
Like she's such a kind of physical person. But yeah, she definitely, I think, has her own intentions.
Oh,
in
for
mind
sure.
Here.
For sure.
What's your name?
Matilda.
But you can call her whatever you want.
See, she's trying to like tempt him. And she's, I think, having a lot of fun here with the fact that Caitlyn
Kayla's like, what is even going
seems
on?
so uncertain.
Because she looks at her twice before she starts this, and she's just like,
Yes. My parents named me.
And notice her accent changes.
Because
Because she's like trying to blend in. So she makes a different accent that she thinks
she's
like
so
people
bad
would
at
have
lying, though.
in the Undercity.
She tries, though.
Yeah. So yeah, she doesn't know. It's clear that Caitlin's like not used to doing undercover work.
No, it's not. It's clear that she's not in her element. She's got no idea what's going on.
And I think Vi kind of like, Vi definitely has her own intentions in mind.
Oh, she does.
And
Definitely.
she's, like we said, she's trying to give Caitlyn something, because she's like, okay, Caitlyn wants leads on this. Let me give her this lead, what she thinks will be a lead on this case.
Yeah.
And if she's busy with this, I can go
Yep.
tend to
Whatever.
my priority,
Yep.
which at the time is her trying to find out about Powder, trying to
Mhm.
get back to Powder,
Mm-hmm.
and figure out kind of the lay of the land. Mhm.
Yeah, that's exactly what she's trying to do. She's very clever about it, too.
Mhm. And she's using what she's got. She's
She
doing
is.
exactly what she told Caitlyn to do.
She is.
She's like, I'm gonna use all my charms. I'm
Yep.
gonna use all of my influence that I
Mhm.
can and all of my power
Mm-hmm.
to show you what you want to see, so that I can distract you and go take care of some
Basically, at
business.
this point, even though she's having fun, she's like, okay, she's got what she wants. She's probably going to figure her case out. I'm going to go my way now.
Mhm.
That's what she's doing.
Yeah.
And it works because Caitlyn is so out of her element that she has no idea this is what Vi is planning. She's just like, okay, this is for the case.
Yeah. Like, this is really good. This is what you wanted, right?
This is great.
Yeah.
I'm so uncomfortable right now.
Mhm. She's kind of toying with her a little
Oh,
bit.
it's fun to watch it though.
Yeah.
It's just fun to watch that personality type, just because she's just so lost. And we've never seen, up to this point, we've never seen Caitlyn when she was younger, when she's older, lost about anything.
Mhm.
You know, so it's kind of like, oh, this is a cool side of you we get to see.
Yeah.
All right.
So my overall thoughts on that scene are that it's amazing. It's a work of freaking art.
So glorious.
Yeah. It's also like just really hot. There's a lot of like,
I mean,
really nice tension.
It's really hot too, but it's also really interesting, the two dynamics,
Mhm.
how this is working. You've got this girl who's always been in charge, always been in control, always knows what's going on, and then you've got Vi, who's, you know, in her element, and you get to see the shift of Caitlyn, who's like a planner and everything, to like a mess. She's like a gay mess. Come on. Okay, panic!
She's like, what is happening? Yeah, and it's fun to see Vi kind of toying
I
with
love
her.
it. It's
See
great.
her like playing with her, and also though like teaching her.
Yeah,
she
she's
is
teaching
still
her. Mhm.
giving her some guidance.
She's giving her guidance in the Vi way.
Yeah, in the Vi way, and I think Caitlyn's for it. I think you can tell that Caitlyn does have a lot of respect for Vi in this scene, because up until this time, she kept questioning Vi.
Mhm.
Like, when Vi was sitting there eating, she was like, hey, aren't we gonna go, like, did you question him? Like, are we gonna question people? She's such a straight shooter.
Yeah, she is.
And that's why. She's just like, okay, here's my objective.
Mhm.
I want to get to it and get this figured out. Whereas Vi knows the ways of the lanes.
Yep.
And knows that you have to like really build relationships with people
You do.
based on trust,
Mhm.
and that's how you're gonna get things accomplished, is when people trust each other, when people exchange honestly things that the other person thinks that they need. Yeah. And so that's what Caitlyn kept being like, why are we sitting here and you're eating? Like, what are we doing? And then she was proven that that
Yeah.
guy that she was eating his food. She didn't tell Caitlin.
No, she's eating,
She
she's
didn't tell
hungry.
her.
She's like, you know what prison food tastes like? Of course you don't. And she's still eating.
Yeah, she's just like kind of like keeping her super in the dark. And
Little does she know.
and then Caitlin sees at the end that actually she was collecting information, but she was doing it in a stealthy way. Caitlin is just not stealthy. She doesn't know how to be stealthy.
No.
She's very straightforward,
Yeah.
very to the point, which is a really cool thing about her.
Yeah.
It's like you kind of can know what she's thinking, and I respect her for that.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's just not something. It's not how Vi works. So that's
You
why
imagine.
Vi's like, hey, we're being on the down low. Like, we're supposed to be stealthy. And Caitlin's just, like, coming in there busting. Like, oh, we have to just get to it.
So I
And
gave
so,
her the
yeah.
outfit.
Yeah.
You stand out.
Yeah, exactly. So then, again, here we are. And Caitlin's starting to wonder, like, maybe Vi knows what she's doing.
Mhm.
And I feel like that's where Caitlin is during the scene.
Yeah.
She's starting to understand that Vi knows how to work the system.
Mhm.
And Vi is starting to show her
Mhm.
how to work the system.
Yeah.
And Vi's also using all she's got. She's like, here, let me show you how to, use the fact that you're a hottie. And let me show you on you. So I think that's a lot of the dynamics that are happening.
Yeah.
But again, like, they look like two ladies that you'd see, like, at a lesbian nightclub. One of them hitting on the other.
Yep.
So I definitely get the vibe that Vi has a lot of intentions. She's using what she has to get what she wants. And one of those things is to figure out what's going on with Caitlin.
Mhm.
I do think she's already starting to have some interest in Caitlin.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, she was like checking her out.
Yeah. She's interested in Caitlin, but she also wants to get her own stuff done too, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because for her, she's like, yeah, she's hot, whatever, it's great, but at the same time, I gotta kind of like lose this chick and do what I've gotta do. Bye, you're so stupid with that. Have you seen Caitlin?
That's true. Yeah.
Well, she's an enforcer too, so you know.
Mm-hmm. Right. So yeah, now we're gonna check out what happens next. So, if you've never seen an angry lesbian, this is what one looks like. We were talking about how people, who was it that said
There
she
was a bunch of like fan theories that in this scene, I'm sure she's sad too, but the look on her face is not I'm sad, it's I'm really mad, if not pissed off.
Because she just received some news she didn't want to hear.
Yeah.
So she looks very upset.
Yeah.
So we don't think she's sad. We think, like, she has her eyebrows kind of like this.
Yeah, it's usually
like-
when you're not happy with like mad.
Yeah, you're mad, not sad.
No.
That's our opinion.
Yeah, that's our opinion anyway. But
So she's like looking around.
she's like, wait,
Now,
what is
look,
that?
and if you think about it, we're talking about how Caitlin was shocked before. Now it's your turn, Vi.
Your turn, Vi.
It's your turn to be shocked.
She's like, what is going on? She's like turning.
And it's interesting
Yeah!
because if you think about it, there are a ton of people around, but this one catches her attention, right? There are other rooms with other people in
It's like
it, but she
giggling.
hears this like really cute giggling, and she's like, I'm all upset, and she's like, what is that? And then she looks over and sees this scene.
It's so pretty.
Yeah.
First of all, I would love to have seen when Caitlin got a mask.
True.
I would have loved to have seen that play out.
Yeah.
That would have been great.
That's true. That would have been interesting to see. But let's talk about now how Caitlin looks.
Oh my
So
gosh.
her body language
Mhm.
is completely different.
Oh yeah.
She looks completely in her element.
Oh yeah.
She's like sitting there, like, now she looks like she owns the place.
Yes,
right?
she does look like it for sure.
Like Vi did earlier.
Yep.
She's just, and if you think about it, look, she's learning from Vi.
She is.
Copying Vi.
Yep.
And having that look like I own the place.
Yep.
Not that she didn't already have that in her repertoire,
Yeah.
but now we see her soon after using it.
Yeah.
She also looks like she has some swagger.
Oh yeah.
She looks really hot in this picture.
Yeah.
She looks like she's in charge. She looks like a top.
Yeah.
Again, she looks like a hottie in the club that found another hottie. Is like, hey, do you want to come sit with me? We can talk. Like, yeah.
Girl got game.
Yeah, she does. And now I think it's really exciting that Vi gets to see it because Vi saw her in the opposite position where she didn't know what was going on.
Yep.
And she was uncomfortable.
Yeah, definitely.
And now she sees her like sitting like she owns the freaking place, doing what Vi told her to do. Look, I'd never noticed. Look at what this other girl is wearing. She is very scantily clad.
She got some nice ink.
She looks like a total hottie.
Yep.
That Caitlin bagged in the few minutes that Vi was in there having some kind of conversation. Caitlin's got some serious game.
Oh, yeah.
And I do think, to an extent, this is also where her upbringing comes into play. Because I would think that someone with her kind of upbringing has learned that charm and that kind of charisma, even though she is such a straight shooter. You know, she's been, I'm sure, like, pushed into going to all kinds of functions and things where she knows how to make conversation. And clearly she knows how to pick up a cute chick.
In like less than 5 minutes.
Yeah, right? And look at how the girl's looking at her.
Oh, yeah.
She's so engaged.
Look at her
so
arms.
interested. And she's like, tell me more.
Right, though?
She's really drawn in, like she's been seduced already.
This would be a beautiful wallpaper. It's such nice wallpaper.
Like a computer wallpaper.
Yeah, that's what, no, I want to paste this in my
that
office.
That too, though.
I mean,
I wouldn't be surprised.
You know, I'm a Caitlin fan. So.
Yeah.
She's best girl.
Oh! In the garden. And she's like telling her about, look at her.
Look at Caitlin.
Looking like a hottie that owns the place even more.
She has her undivided attention.
Yeah. And notice, oh my gosh, I didn't notice until I saw this still and up close. She is giving this girl the same kind of look that Vi just gave her. She's looking at her like she has her pinned. She's like, you have my full attention. And she has a little bit of like a predatory look like Vi did. So she's definitely learning, but like you don't learn that overnight.
No.
She was already having some lady skills, lady flirty skills.
I can appreciate it. And they're just like having a nice chat. It's just so sweet. You go from mad to glad.
Okay, let's see the whole thing real fast. No, just from there.
Just from here?
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, like the whole expression she makes.
She's like.
Yeah, she's like. And then, let's see it all together. Okay. She like makes kind of like a half smile.
Yep.
And then she
impressed.
kind of she kind of like in almost like a dreamland that she has to like shake herself out of. Look at her, she's like, yeah.
She's impressed.
What do you think that look says? I have 3 things I think it says, but I'll let you go first.
I mean, I think she's definitely intrigued. She's definitely impressed. And I have a chance?
Yeah, pretty much. I think that's the first thing. I think first she's surprised. She like kind of, actually I have more than 3 things to say about it.
Of course you do.
Because of course first she's surprised.
Yeah,
she's
she is.
Like,
if we go to the first panel,
this is what is happening.
Yeah, I left you with Pim.
Then I think she's impressed.
Yes.
She's like, I didn't know she had it in her.
Yeah.
Then I think that she is a little proud.
Yep.
She's like, oh. And this is very different. If we look back to earlier when she was teaching Powder, she like was helping Powder get up, and she's just kind of like brushes it off.
Yeah.
You know, brushes off when Powder does do things.
Yeah.
So she's not like giving a ton of like yeah, you did it. But she's, I think, having this sense of pride, like, oh, Caitlin did it.
Yeah.
And I think it's also proud, like, this was my idea.
Yep.
And she pulled it off. And then the final thing, I think that she also is like, oh, she does like women. Oh, she does prefer women. Yeah, maybe I have a chance. And finally, and I feel like no one talks about this, but I definitely think this is part of it. She's like, that was a feast for the eyes. Like, that was a hot scene.
That's why she's happy now.
To see this girl that she knew was a hottie talking to another girl that was a hottie and like flirting with her. Like, it's just a really beautiful thing to look at.
It is.
And people, I feel like, often miss it. They're like, oh, I have a chance with her. But it's also like, damn, that was hot.
Yeah. I mean, why else would you go from mad
to that?
I mean, yeah.
Yeah. It's just like a whole array of things that she didn't expect to see, and that she's pleased by seeing, all coming together to like hit her in the face. And that's kind of why she has to like shake it off.
Yeah.
She's just like, yes, please.
Yes.
And then she's like, all right, we have to like, I have to like,
I have to focus.
Recollect myself, which is also saying a lot. Because in the beginning, she's the one walking around like she owns a place.
Yep.
She knows the lay of the land. She knows what's going on.
Yep.
She has a swagger.
Yep.
And then all of a sudden, she's the one taken aback
Yep.
and taken by surprise. Yes.
Yep. It's just so great.
And you can tell that like it's on her mind.
Oh yeah, definitely. Just want to go back to that, like the mad, like that surprise.
Yeah, for surprise. And then like I think all those things played through her mind.
Yeah.
First surprise.
Yeah.
Then
Yeah.
At first she's like, what is that? Like intrigued. That's when she's intrigued.
Yeah.
She's like, oh, what is that? Then she's like,
Look at that mad face.
Yeah,
though.
mad face.
Surprise.
Surprise. Intrigue. Oh, she's got this. Wow, I didn't know she had it in her. This was my idea. I'm proud about it. I have a chance with her. And like, damn, that was hot.
Yeah.
Those are all the things that I think crossed her mind in that short amount of time.
That's amazing, though, the expression these animators have done, though. It's just like, she doesn't say anything. You don't.
Right.
She has to say absolutely nothing, and you just know what's going through her head.
Yeah.
That's powerful.
Or we do.
Or we do. And other folks that like to.
And I feel like, to be honest with you, part of that comes from just being women. I think women. I used to like study facial expressions in my Krav Maga training. We did like studies of different expressions so you could figure out how to read people. And women give off a lot more emotional expressions than men do.
Yeah.
But I also think because of that, we are often better at reading them. So I think that a lot of guys who watch this are like, oh, they're just friends. They don't see that like a lot of the cues that we give off mean something, that we as women more often are expressing ourselves through our facial expressions, through our hands, through acts. And I think that's one of the reasons a lot of guys are just like, oh my god, girls are so crazy, I can't stand them. Oh, women though. Yeah, I think so. It's because we're like, I clearly expressed this, and guys are like, yeah, but you didn't tell me though.
Yeah, they
and
want
it's
to
like,
be told.
so we kind of communicate a little bit differently.
Yeah.
And then I think when you're in same-sex relationships as women, that you really start to also like see that in your partner. You start to pick up those cues of like, when she does this, it means this. And I think that that's something that really helps us to be able to read this and to see all of these things in it. Whereas there are a lot of people just trying to deny that this is a romantic thing, and I'm like, this is beyond romantic. Like, this is like some straight sexual tension. I don't understand how you don't see it, but like I kind of do, because you maybe don't you're not reading into it the same way that we know to.
Yeah, and just a art point here, when the Amanda, one of the writers, when they gave this scene to the animators, and there was only supposed to be an eyebrow raise, And the animators just did what they wanted with Vi right here, which
Yeah, she says that they made it into a complete revelation.
Yeah.
And
And
I
it
think
is.
an eyebrow raise would have said a lot of the same kind of thing.
It could have.
But I think that this is, in a way, more in congruence with Vi's personality.
Yeah.
Because Vi is loud, she's big, she doesn't do anything small.
No.
And I was watching that Spock documentary talking about Spock because he was very well known for that eyebrow raise.
Yeah.
And Leonard Nimoy, who played Spock, was saying that he was inspired by, I think it might have been a comedian, it was a performer, that like stayed very still and then made a gesture. And he was saying, like, when you stay very still or you like don't give a lot of expression, when you do, people notice. Like, it's very noticeable.
Yeah.
Vi is on the complete other side of that. Vi is rambunctious, she's loud, she's fun, she's who she is. And so I think that if, like, in this case, that eyebrow raise, I can see how it still would have said the same thing.
Yeah.
But you would have had to be able to read into it even more.
Oh, definitely.
Whereas this just clearly has so much going on. Yeah, so that last part of the scene is just amazing. And it was funny, like, after we finished filming it, KB over here kept going back and forth. She was like, here's Caitlin with Pim. And here she is with this cute girl. Here she is with Pim. Here she is with a cute girl. So it's obvious that she's like, she's like so much more in her element. She's definitely likes dating women, likes talking to them, likes charming them over.
She's definitely snuck more than one girl into her bedroom.
Yeah, right. Yeah, that was another thing is people ask, like, oh, it seems like, where was that? You saw it.
Which one?
About the bedroom, about her sneaking other girls to the bedroom.
Oh, because of her mom's reaction.
Yeah. But didn't someone ask the writer that you're talking about, Amanda? They were like, hey, like, it seems like...
Oh, yeah, she hinted at it.
Oh.
So she basically had said, because someone had asked her, hey, you know, Caitlin seems to have her way with women. Has she snuck, like actual girls?
Like other girls.
Like other girls that she's actually seeing? And Amanda was like, well, you know, Caitlin's got some game. So, I mean, hello. The way she looked at that girl in the brothel is just like, you're everything.
Yeah, she's like, you have my full attention.
I mean, seriously. It's just wonderful.
Yeah. So that scene as a whole, like, there's just so much gay goodness in it, and I totally love it.
Oh, yeah.
I feel like I'm going to watch it a million more times.
You can also watch that in 25 different languages if you want to.
On YouTube.
Yep.
And yeah, I think we both like just have so much fun watching their chemistry, watching the way that their chemistry plays out, and the dynamics of everything else going on. So I think that's part of what makes this story so rich and exciting, is that it's not just like it looks like at first glance. You're like, I could see two lesbians in a club doing this, but there's so much more at play and so many deeper layers that make it really interesting.
Yeah, and I'm just and I'm trying to think of any other sort of situation in any other type of media where I've seen something similarly to this, like that dynamic, and I honestly can't really think of anything.
Yeah, it's pretty unique.
Yeah.
It's a revolution.
It's wonderful.
Yes. So yeah, I hope you've enjoyed watching our thoughts on this scene, and we of course have lots more ideas and reactions to share with you with some upcoming videos. So please like our video, subscribe, and we'd love to keep you all in the loop with everything that is going on. Sending you all so much love. Until next time.
Latest.